There's one thing this country doesn't need.
Is to keep drinking where you're pooping.
It's more uneducated voters.
Agree to disagree. There are 3 mistakes about my video, and if you use your powers of observation and are really good, you can find all 4 of them.
And Enola spelled backwards. Reads alone.
Are we sure that's what the mother was going for? If she's a fan of word games, I don't think she's gonna name the 3rd kid Alone. If it's an anagram, maybe she was thinking A Noel, or La One, or how about Ale On? Also, why does her mom's letters say get bad man bed? Don't they have a lot of land for these outdoor activities? Looks like a sunny day, and you can't get too good at archery when the target's 10 feet away. Also, I hate to be picky. I'm just kidding, I love it. Why does this mustachey montage with younger Enola come after a bunch of older Enola clips?
Shouldn't she give me these presents herself?
Yeah, but your mom decided to be a terrorist on your 16th birthday, so... How do you score tennis in 1900? Flashback to the mother writing a 3rd row of points, but presently there are only 2 row of points. It's the time travel part of tennis that always confuses me.
The footmen, the housemaids, the kitchen maids, gardeners, the undergardeners.
All the staff he just listed were plural, meaning the mother was swindling so much money for her terrorist operation that I'm wondering why they didn't have a little something for yard service. So what billiard game are they playing? See, there's pool, you probably know, with the pockets and a bunch of balls. Then there's carom billiards, which has 2 cue balls and 1 red one. But that game's table doesn't have any pockets. Yet these guys are constantly sinking the red ball into the pockets, which shouldn't be there. So someone screwed up. Am I the only one who thinks the head of a finishing school driving a motor car is weird? Like a car is new tech, looking forward to the future, but a finishing school is all old ways, tradition, oppress the women shtick.
Father would be turning in his grave.
Would be? Is he not dead? Was he cremated? I hope Sherlock picked up on that. The plot thickens.
Chest 33 inches.
Well, that's too small.
Hips 35 inches.
Wow, disappointing.
To your ridiculous school.
Well, I'm triggered. What would be acceptable poetic justice for this character? I'm thinking explosion in her face. Gasp, I know a women's rights terrorist who would be perfect for the job. Also, the mother must have known abandoning her daughter would put Mycroft in charge and that Mycroft would board her in finishing school, so it doesn't matter how awesome you fourth wall described mom. If her actions are douchey, then she's a dude. That's probably sexist. Also, yeah, I'm not done being upset about manners school. If they are so concerned with making her eligible for marriage, are they not being super hypocritical choosing to be single themselves?
Myself.
Yourself? Good.
What is this? Somebody in the mountains because they like to play with cougars.
Why did you never visit?
Have you seen his arms? Between solving mysteries and keeping up those guns, who has the time?
Alone. That's my name.
Wow. Should we tell Sherlock to retire?
It's a necessary distraction.
Is it? It honestly doesn't make any sense at all. You know Sherlock will see through any false clues, and you have to travel 2 train stations away. Why not just use the bike to get to the station and then dump it? Or get close to the first train station, dump it, and move on to the next station. The point is, she's making herself walk. So the grandma did it, huh? I don't even know what she did, but that dude just signaled to either the grandma, uncle, or mom, and the grandma's the only one who didn't try and stop the train, so maybe next time give more suspects? Ugh, creepy face. Alright, so maybe she could work on her sewing skills. Holy elongated title card, Batman. The film takes place in 1900, and silent film title cards didn't exist until 1903. But you know what I really don't like? They took this image, which only comes in this tiny size, stretched it out, added a crisp font that doesn't match, slapped on a film effect, and if I can recreate it in half a minute, then maybe production could have spent 2 minutes picking out a nicer graphic. And yes, I'm allowed to be picky, it's a Sherlock film.
I'm not ready to die on a train.
I'm not ready to die at all, and I was going to before I met you.
How about what? Let's hear that again.
I'm not ready to die at all, and I was going to before I met you.
So she was going to die before she met him. I think that's a compliment.
Well, it turns out being thrown off a train hurts considerably more than you might think.
Dude, she is right there.
And I've lost a button.
Which button? I've been trying to figure it out. There's 7 on the vest, 4 on the coat, 2 on the backside, none on the sleeves, and not one of them is missing. Yes, I'm being this picky. I'm a picky person. Check out my nose. Booger-free since '93.
You need to disguise yourself a little. How do you feel about your hair?
Ah, yes, a haircut. Excellent idea. Which short hairstyle will best disguise? And it's still long.
Then thank you, Enola Holmes.
You were supposed to have forgotten that name.
And you'll have to find another.
Smooth line. Do you think that would have landed if you weren't riding away on the back of a sheep cart?
Mother will be here somewhere.
How does she know that? All her mother clued her in on was the money and a note of encouragement. There's no reason Enola should have any conviction her mom's in London.
There's one thing this country doesn't need.
Is to keep drinking where you're pooping?
It's more uneducated voters.
Agree to disagree. Enjoy your plagues.
Read.
So where are these sound effects coming from? Don't you hate it when you're playing Scrabble on the bed and you wake up everyone from that clay-on mattress racket? So is Enola really good at deduction, or does she just have a photographic memory? Oh, and incredible eyesight.
Live the life, but don't do it because you're looking for someone. Do it because you're looking for yourself.
She's 16. What kind of advice is that? She's not having an existential crisis. She's an unaccompanied minor. This has all been for women's rights to vote? Bombing government buildings for women's suffrage just jumping a bit too, how do I put this, Cocoa Crazy Puffs? I always wondered why more people in films aren't faking the whole drown or choke thing, so I thoroughly enjoyed this. But she's also the title character, so you could stab her and I wouldn't even worry.
I did not ask for the Viscount Tewkesbury Marquess of Basilweather in my life.
That's how you spell Tewkesbury? Ugh, his name got worse.
Widows scare them, and there's no better disguise than fear.
Except when people wonder how a 16-year-old is already a widow.
Whatever mischief you two...
Mischief! A poor choice of word.
What would a better word be? Alphabetically, I can think of a few. Atrocity, barbarity, callous crimes. I can't seem to get over this terrorist bombing side plot they seem to gloss by. It just grabs my attention more than some missing teen.
A simple shave, please, Martin.
Martin, could you use the dull side of the razor? Judging by his smooth face, it seems it won't make a difference. And why is this where they rendezvous? The inspector doesn't even shave.
I'm a man.
You're a man when I tell you you're a man.
What kind of aggressive flirting is that? Your life is in danger, and because I cross-dressed once, I'll decide your level of masculinity.
They tried to. I found the branch that almost killed you. It had been cut.
Cut? Where's that whistling sound coming from? I mean, you'd assume it's from the kettle she put on the stove 10 seconds ago, which would make it a very impressive stove and the most conductive cast iron pot in history. But tea kettle whistles weren't invented until 1915, and this tea kettle is clearly whistleless. Whistleless? Whistleless. That's fun to say.
I will affect your standing.
You already have done immense damage, as has that errant brother of ours.
Wait a minute. Mycroft is worried that Sherlock's behavior is hurting their reputation, even though Sherlock is the reason they have a reputation?
You've missed supper, but no matter. You could do with losing a pound or two.
Oh, what is this newfound rage I'm feeling? I may have to skip these scenes because I do not like it when... Are those trophies? They got trophies for oppressing women?
Sometimes you must dangle your feet in the water in order to attract the sharks.
Why would you want to attract sharks?
Prefects will accompany you to and from lessons. The store will always be kept locked.
Always kept locked, huh? Till the plot demands otherwise. This guy can't keep still for 2 seconds. How on earth did he stay quiet for a delivery?
Ow! What are you waiting for? A tip. Go on, be gone.
You know, for a charm school principal, she really lacks manners. So a motor car in 1900 cost about £1,000. Inflation adjusted, they just stole a vehicle worth well over £120,000. And yeah, you might be wondering why a car that doesn't need a key is just sitting out there, or how Enola knows how to drive it. But I'm thinking, dang, how much that school charging to teach girls not to slurp?
We need to go to Basilweather.
What?
Nope, you see that? The movie's breaking its own rules. When Enola talks to us, no one else can hear her. But when she says,
We need to go to Basilweather,
Tewks replies,
What?
Breaking the rules. I'm gonna have to take points off the board. Shoot, now I have to make a point system. And I have to get a board.
Sometimes, Lord Tewkesbury, you have to dangle your legs in the water to attract the bloody sharks!
Why would we want to attract the bloody sharks?
Didn't I just... They said bloody sharks. There's gotta be a joke in there somewhere. Something chum. Nailed it.
Why are we doing this?
That is such a good question. Why not go to the police, tell them everything, and have them escort you to the reform vote? Seems like a much better idea than putting your head on the chopping block just to see who's holding the axe.
What's happening?
They know we're here.
Yeah, how? They dismissed the servants, so this is very premeditated. How'd they know little Took was coming home tonight? Considering he didn't know he was going to be there, I find this setup rather uncanny.
It's locked.
Again, how? And when? And why can't they unlock it? And how are you gonna hire an assassin who can't aim? Plastic shells? Really? The props and sound effects people both had the same brain fart, huh?
Lestrade.
Sherlock's gonna walk right past the guy's windowed office. Maybe his powers of observation are having an off day. How does Cavill stack up in the Sherlock role? Well, I find his take particularly delightful. He's given us some sweet eyebrow action. Take for instance when Lestrade says,
2 questions.
and then only asks 1. Cavill does a very fast eyebrow move before giving in an answer. Then when he exits, he stops before Lestrade starts talking, anticipating the second question is coming. Just great. I would let him buy me a beer.
I'm sorry?
I'll pay you £5 to swap clothes with me.
I'm pretty sure it's morning, so the meeting's in like 8 hours. She doesn't have time to buy her own clothes. Well, now it's 5, and what is this paper, the evening edition? Also, all she got out of that £5 deal was his coat and hat. It's like $1,000. With that kind of spending, she's gonna need to save another royal in the sequel.
I left for you because I couldn't bear to have this world be your future.
You falling for this? I'm sorry, I just can't get over this nonsense of an excuse. The mother left her child, who's still a minor, to try and change her future, but knowing Enola had no understanding of the outside world, put her life presently in significant jeopardy. This is the shenaniest of shenanigans. Shenaniest. Her name's Enola. She played viola. She wore a dress and fixed her hair, or some pants and men's footwear. She could do combat and do the Tai Chi. Mycroft cut her at the knees, and still she solved a mystery. She helped out the Lord's vote because she is so woke.